YouTube. How are you? Friendly neighborhood crustaceans from Melody. Anyway, guys, what we're looking at today is the first in my series of looking at every verse in the Bible. I did a video about proving God exists. I did a video about proving the Bible's accuracy, and a video about proving Genesis. So that's kind of all foundational to get to this. Now what we're doing here is we're looking at the verses one by one, and in the book of Genesis. So we're going to start off with chapter 1 and about the creation of the world, and we're going to look at verses 1 through 5. So in the beginning God created the heavens and the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. And the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. And God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. And God saw the light, and it was good. And God divided the light from the darkness. And God called the day light, and the darkness God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. And the evening and the morning were the first day. So that was just to give you some context. Chapter 1, of course, is the creation of the earth. It talks about 6 literal days of what we believe to be literal days of creation, or I do. It talks about how moon, sun, earth, animals, and man was created, and we'll get all into all that later. And it talks about how light and dark, and we talk about what is light, what is dark, and then we talk about day 1 creation. In verses 1 and 2, what did God do? Well, in the beginning, God created, action, verb, the heavens and the earth. Verse 2, the earth was without form and void, and darkness was, verb, upon the face of the deep. And the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. So God created and God moved. So then we look at verse 1's breakdown. Like I said, God created. We verified that there was a God in my video proving God exists. And we look at what God created. In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. Well, how did he do that? Some believe through a singularity, a black hole. He created time. He created matter. And then we created the universal law. And you can look up what the universal law is. Now we look at the language of the verse. Rishala is a Rishieth. It means eternity. And the first in place and time, in order to rank a specific first fruit beginning, Shiaf, just first fruits, part-time, principle, God thing. Okay, so before you're like, English please, God created eternity in that time. We'll look at the word God, and the language is Elohim. A root meaning is strength. Angels, God, exceeding God, God's great, judges, mighty, created. Okay, so we think about what happened here. Okay, the next word is ba, or bara. It means created or out of nothing. And in the Greek is oh shoot, I forgot it already. Ex nihilo. It's ex nihilo in the Greek. It means created from nothing. Humans, we cannot do this, okay? We cannot be like, I'm going to write a story and I'm going to take it from nothing that I already know, or I'm going to create something from nothing area. It doesn't work. You have to take it, be inspired. Number 4 is Ayeth. It means self, but generally it means used to point out more definite the object of a verb or preposition, or even namely as such unpresented in English. The heaven. So it means this points to the heaven. God created the heaven. Ayeth, heaven, points to heaven. Ayeth, but it's another one. Okay, so next word. No, wait a minute. I'm sorry, I'm skipping here. Number 5 is Shahmim. It means air, astronomer, heavens, and. So we can think about, okay, God created the heavens and the earth. Iya, self, but generally it points to more definite, the object of a verb, preposition, or even namely, such as unprecedented in English. Is what it means the earth is pointed to the earth. Aretz, the earth at large, partly a land, a common country, a field, ground, nations, plus wilderness, world. So look at the importance. Why even look at these verses? Because it tells us that God is our creator, and that, you know what, we all forget things. We just need to be reminded sometimes. And it's the foundation. This verse, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth, is the foundation of my faith. It's the foundation of a lot of things. And if you believe that, you know, in a God, if you believe in creation, that it's the foundation most likely of your faith. I'm not trying to presume, I'm just saying, you know. So I know this may have been a little bit confusing, but we look at, you know, it's Ra Hashem Elohim Baha Aleth Shamareth Eth Eretz. It sounds interesting in the Hebrew, and I've never looked at this before, and that's one of the reasons I'm looking at this. You know, so we're going to look into a little bit further into verse 2 and so on, and see what God did here and what the root language is. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope it made sense to you. I'll see you in the next one. Beep, beep.